Hey guys, imagine chasing a mystery for 230 years, a riddle buried in dirt, soaked in secrecy, and possibly protected by ancient orders like the Knights Templar. Now imagine, after generations of digging, diving, and debating, the truth finally starts to surface, in the episode 22 of The Curse of Oak Island Season 12. Friends, buckle in. Because, Night After Night, isn't just another episode, it's the one that may have cracked the story wide open. What the hell is going on? That's what fans everywhere are asking right now. But here's the real question: what if the episode 22 just gave us our clearest proof yet of a medieval conspiracy spanning continents, from the cold clay of Nova Scotia to the ancient tunnels of Malta? We start on a cold, brisk day as winter closes in. The pressure is on. With the threat of another frozen shutdown looming, Rick Lagina and the Fellowship of the Dig split their forces for a final, do-or-die push. On Oak Island itself, Marty Lagina, Craig Tester, and the crew are targeting the swamp, yes, the ever-puzzling triangle-shaped swamp that has defied explanation for years. They've only explored about 20% of it so far. That's right, 80% of that mystery-soaked marshland is still untouched. But this time, they uncover something jaw-dropping. A vault-like structure, empty, bricked, and clearly man-made, buried in cobblestone pathways over 300 years old. Think about that. Who was building subterranean chambers in a swamp in the 1600s? And why? Meanwhile, let's not forget what else they found over the years: a stone slab with undecipherable symbols, mysterious tunnels that fill with water as if they're booby-trapped, and a lead cross possibly dating back to the time of the Templars. But now, in this season episode 22, the clues connect even deeper, and they take us far from Nova Scotia. Rick Lagina and a few team members board a plane and fly 4,000 miles to Malta. Not for vacation. Not for show. But because the trail of clues, ancient tools, odd artifacts, and a hunch older than the island itself, led them here. At Fort St. Elmo, a powerful 16th-century fortress built by the Knights of Malta, Rick and his nephews are met by historian Matthew Balson. And what he tells them? It changes everything. Rick pulls out a pickaxe found 145 feet deep in the money pit area. He hands it to Matthew. The historian doesn't flinch. He says it plainly: this is the exact kind of tool used by the Knights of Malta. Same shape. Same wear. Same purpose. Pickaxes like this were used to carve deep tunnels through limestone, build underground chambers, and even seal vaults with clay. And get this, the same type of bluish clay they used for waterproofing. That's been found in Oak Island's money pit, too. This isn't some one-off coincidence. This is an architectural fingerprint. A stylistic DNA. And it matches perfectly between the Knights of Malta and what's buried deep beneath Oak Island. Now think about this: after the Templars were persecuted and disbanded in the 1300s, their surviving members are believed to have passed their secrets, and their treasure, to the Knights of Malta. These warrior monks were craftsmen, master builders, and keepers of hidden knowledge. And wouldn't you know it? Historical records place the Knights of Malta in Nova Scotia in the 1600s. Right around the time that some of the oldest materials on Oak Island are dated to. Is this just another coincidence? Or have the team uncovered the literal tools of the original builders, buried more than a century before modern Canada even existed? Let's talk about that vault. Because the one discovered in the northern swamp is unlike anything they've found so far. It's not just old, it's engineered. Stone. Slate. Brick-lined. Empty, for now. But what if it's not the only one? Rick himself believes that these vaults are part of a network, a system of decoys, traps, and actual treasure caches. If he's right, this episode 22 of season 12 might be showing us only the tip of the iceberg. Because the swamp is huge. And 80% of it is still unexplored. Let's review. Tools used by Knights of Malta. Found 145 feet deep. Blue clay used for waterproofing. Identical substance in the money pit. Mysterious pottery fragments. Could match the Maltese mix of crushed ceramics. A cross tied to the Templars. Dated to the 14th century, centuries before any documented settlement on Oak Island. The deeper they dig, the more the evidence screams one thing: Oak Island may not be just a legend. It may be a centuries-old stronghold built by men sworn to secrecy. You can see it in Rick's eyes in Malta. He's not just treasure hunting. He's chasing history. The connection between the Templars, the Knights of Malta, and Oak Island may finally be materializing, not in whispers, but in bricks, tools, and tunnels. And now the Fellowship stands on the brink. Will they stop at one vault? Or dig deeper? Because what lies beneath the surface, literally, could be one of the most significant historical discoveries of our time. But here's what really blows the lid off this whole mystery. During their time in Malta, the team didn't just compare tools or look at pretty ruins. They presented actual artifacts found on Oak Island to Maltese experts, and the reaction was telling. When historians recognized the design of a centuries-old pickaxe from 145 feet underground on a tiny Canadian island, and say, yes, we used these to carve tunnels right here in Malta, that's not just a coincidence. That's a connection. A tangible link between continents, forged in stone. Let's dig into the blue clay discovery a little more. Back in Season 5, the team unearthed thick layers of bluish clay deep within the Money Pit area, a substance that made no geological sense in that location. But now, they learn in Malta that the Knights mixed clay with crushed pottery to waterproof their fortresses and underground vaults. The kicker? Oak Island's team also found pottery shards in that same clay. You couldn't write a better historical crossover episode if you tried. And then there's the symbolism. The lead cross found on the island has become a signature artifact in this series. Small, simple, but profound. Experts suggested its origin could predate Columbus. Its design matches Templar crosses seen throughout Europe and Malta. What if this cross wasn't just a religious symbol, but a marker, a signature from the builders? A hidden stamp saying, "We were here." If that's true, the entire history of the New World might need a rewrite. Let's not forget the roads and stone features hidden beneath the swamp. These aren't natural. In fact, carbon dating puts them at over 700 years old in some areas. The paved roads, the cobblestone paths, the sunken structures, these are the bones of something carefully engineered. You don't build an ancient highway beneath a swamp unless you're moving something valuable. And considering the tools and methods match what the Knights of Malta used, it's not hard to see why the team is now thinking bigger than ever. And what about the deeper meaning behind all this? Why would the Templars, or the Knights of Malta, go to such lengths to hide treasure, secrets, or even knowledge across the ocean? Because they were under siege. The Templars were hunted, tortured, and executed for what they knew. Some believe they discovered religious relics or ancient technology so powerful, the church and kings feared it. If you had that kind of knowledge, wouldn't you hide it where no one could find it? Maybe they did. On Oak Island. Here's what you need to understand, Oak Island isn't just about gold. It's about legacy. Power. Secrets that could reshape the narrative of world history. Every artifact, every chamber, every unexpected connection to places like Malta adds another piece to a puzzle that's far older than Canada. We're not just watching a treasure hunt anymore, we're witnessing the slow unraveling of a medieval escape plan. One so well hidden, it's taken 230 years and an entire team of modern engineers just to find the edges. And yet, the island still resists. Every time they get close, it throws another twist, a flood tunnel, a collapse, a dead end. But isn't that exactly what you'd expect from something built to protect a secret that big? The island is a fortress, not a vault. And episode 22 showed us that the key to understanding it lies not just beneath the surface, but across the ocean, in the hands of those who knew how to keep secrets for centuries. This isn't the end. It's the beginning of a bigger truth. If the clues from Malta hold up, and all signs say they do, then Oak Island might be part of a much larger network of hiding places used by fleeing Templars or allied brotherhoods. And that means what they've uncovered in Season 12 is just the first domino. The curse may say 7 must die, but maybe it really means 7 secrets must be unearthed. So what happens next? With winter shutting down operations on Oak Island, the team has time to reflect, regroup, and plan for Season 13. But now they have something more powerful than machinery, they have context. They have proof that their mystery has roots, not just in folklore, but in the geopolitical chaos of the 13th century. The stakes just got a whole lot higher. And the treasure? It might not be gold at all, but a lost piece of history waiting to rise from the clay.